Hi, this is the second video about JavaScript. Okay, and this is the second lecture, and we are going to learn JavaScript more in depth. Let's start. This is the let's talk about arrays. In JavaScript, arrays are zero-based indexing, so same as in Java or Python and many different programming languages. And it is mutable. Mutable means that it can be changed, so you can change the values of array. It can check size via length property. You can change the length size. Also, the difference, for example, between Java and JavaScript, here arrays, they are actually lists, so they do not have size. So they have size, but you can adjust it. You can make it bigger or change it. Also, items are not they do not require you to use only one object. So let me show. So this is GCTOR. I will write it here. For example, let x. Okay, let me put video here. Let x be equal to 3, 4, 2, 5. Console log x. Then we run. It opens the console for us, so it shows that array 3, 4, 2, 5. After that, I can do something like this. For looping, we can use this. We can use this one, like I0 starting to grassy length, or we can use for each loop, also like in Java. So we write it for let item of x, and right here console log x item. So every item is displayed. This is how to display items of array. Now about objects, the next thing is objects. Objects are they are like dictionary or class. This is like hash map plus the class. So it's like a mix of it. So you can write like this. For example, you can write let student equal to, and here write for example, it has name. We can apply some name, surname. I press run. It shows it is object, so you can display different like console log, for example, student dot name. And different things like this. Maps through objects. So you can, without the codes, key are still you display, and you can apply it like this. So for example, this is the objects of it, and it shows. So it shows the you can write it with like array, or you can access it as properties of object. And how to map through this type. So, for example, I showed you how to display one object, and for example, how to display all of these items. We can do it through this example. I will show you. iterating through map, so you can use in. If before we had off, when JavaScript we used off to show all items in this object, you can write it like this for item of in student. Name, surname, age, so it shows the keys like in Java. If you remember, in Java you wrote something like this iterator, and then you use it iterator to get keys, and then you use keys to get objects. So same in almost same thing in here. So for example, you want to show item plus the text, so we can write it like this, and I write it student. Let's try if it will work. Okay, it doesn't work, but if you do something like this. So name second, surname Almenov, age 20. Also you can use this one, top, but it doesn't work. Okay, there are some problems with displaying it like this. So let's take it as this one. So now it shows these items. This is done for iterating. We can use these operations. So for example, you want to add new item, so you'll use push. Push, it will add. Unshift, it will add element to front. So it's like stack. It will add new elements to the front, to the top, or if you want to consider it as the stack. And then pop, so staying for stack, it removes from the back. Pop, yes, removes from back. Shift removes from the front, and index of shows you which element where the index of element where it is found. If it is none found, so it returns -1. Also, there is a splice. Splice, it takes remove one element at index 3, so finds third element and it removes one element. It can also remove element at index 2, so it finds second element and removes it. Adds it 2 plus 0, add one element. So this method can be used for adding and removing at the same time. Okay, and we are going I'm gonna show you. Okay, let's do. Oh, sorry. Downloads. So I jump over some slides, and now I'm going to continue from here. DOM nodes. So we know that from the last lecture that DOM was document object model. So it is the structure of your page. All elements on your page are stored in DOM. So what we can do, let me show an example. So now I have some element like div, for example. And let me show an example. So, example, let's say button. or let make it more clear. So I here write the document query selector button, add event listener, and here I write click, and here I write click function. Click fn. Now I make document query selector. So we have this thing. Oh, sorry. Run. And I have click me button. So when I press, it calls this one, and it makes something. So actually, I can do like change it. I can go through elements. So for example, I can write it like this, button parent node. So we have here some thing which is called text content, child nodes, and parent node. So first one is parent node. Parent node, the parent node of section is body. What are the child nodes of section? So when you write button parent node, so it wants to take parent of button. And I write, for example, let's say that class list, for example, if I, or it was push, okay. So let's say important. Let's say node. So we have multiple divs. And here I write div, okay, so and I write here not class node. It should be border 1 pixel solid red, so it will be red colored. I press this one. So this Z and Y, they are also divs, and this button is inside of this div. When I press this one, it receives this border because I added node. Sorry, okay, something like this. So what does it mean? It means that it takes parent of button and makes it change. So actually we can use not only buttons, but for example some image. Okay. So this takes the parent node and gives it some, you can change its class or something like this. After that, the next point is child nodes. Okay, so let me show. So I remove this one. So we have select. From the last lecture, second part was about third part, complex part was about this option, this selects. So selects are the drop down list. So for example, let's say you have some list and it will be like what we can have. Okay, let's take an example from our courses. First course. Or let's say it is first semester, as in our portal, second semester. Okay, so we have these items like first semester, second semester, first semester. Now I want to do something like this. I want to take, when I press select, I want to add one more select here. And here let's write option. No semester was selected. Or let's write choose semester. So if you forget, I'm doing something like choosing the courses. So first of all, you select the course semester, and then you will select the course subjects like programming, algorithms, and etc. So now let's say that I will run it. So it has choose semester. Also, we can do, for example, this should not be, or let's do something like this. So let's say that when I select third semester, there should be web technologies here. How can I do this? Let's make it. Let's do this one. So we don't have button, but we have, for example, let's give an ID here. ID semester. And this one will have ID subjects. Here I write dash semester. And here we don't write click because click is on clicking, but we want to see when it's changed, so I change. Also we can change this one function to change event. So what does it do? It when you change this value to any new value, it will change it to new. It will call this function. What else I should do? So for example, I write something like this. When I select button, not button, but this select. Okay, we can take this semester input. Let's call it like this. Same input. And right here, not we write it like this semester. So it will take the semester. Let's show console log same input. Okay, I am running it. I select. Okay, oh sorry. I'm running it and I write third semester. It says that it's HTML element. So this is it tells the selected field. Now I want to show you something which is called value. So the value actually it's like something like this. So when you select the select, it displays text, but you want to save in value, for example. So it is more understandable, like numbers. For example, you can write numbers 1, 2, 3, 4. And to show it, you can use this one. Same input value. Run. I select second semester. It shows 2, 3, 1, and 4. So, for example, here you can write it like this. If same input value equal to 3, then you write it like this. I take this second, for example, let's take it like this. Let's say it's subject input, document, query selector, it's called subjects. Subj input, you say that append child. So there is a special method which will append new elements to the select. Oh, okay, let me show the very easiest way. So we have this one. Subj input in the HTML. And you can write it here like this. Option. And here you write, for example, web technologies. Okay, so we can so we can change it. Okay, so it understands it, this one. But it doesn't want to add this one. Why? Okay, because I didn't write it like this. So let me remove this one, and here I will write inner HTML equal to inner HTML. So I run. Nothing. Third semester. So it now contains web technologies. So what we have learned, we learned this method inner HTML. So you can change inner HTML. Inner HTML, there's elements inside of this one. So I took inner HTML. So we took this part and added that option, this one, to this file. So now it becomes added new subject. Also, there is one more way how to do this one. So instead of this thing, you can write subject input append child, and here you write, but here you should have to create element, like element, you say document create element and say it option. Then you can write inner or text content, and here you can write it like web technologies. And in the end you can add it as element. So now I showed you these new methods. It's create element. You create some element like in HTML element. You say you create option, and then you change them. You change its content to web technologies. If you don't change, it will be zero, like it will be empty. And then you append the child to subject input. So it will be new item of this one, of this object. So to finish this one, I'm going to show you one more things. So for example, you can empty this one. So for example, if fourth semester web technologies is already here, so we can do also, we should make it empty. To do this, we can do it as before. We can say subject input inner HTML is equal to this one. So now when I do this one, it is empty because there is nothing inside of it. But when I write 3, it chooses web technologies. So what I can do this with this one, I write, so it adds new element. But for example, you want write here choose semester or choose subject. So it is empty. So we can actually write something like this. If there is no diff for other elements, we can write it value equal to 2 console log. No, not console log, but you can create new element. You can say subject input. Empty, and you write here document create element option, and then you write it here empty empty text content equal to no data, and here you write subject input text content subject that append child, and you write empty. So when I press run, if it is second, it will say no data. If I select third, it will be web technologies. So actually what we have learned, we learned that we can work with different items. We can change the structure of the page by using these elements like append child, so you can append new element to child, or you can change text content, or you can also do many different things. I will show it. So parent node, I showed you that it goes up and finds the parent. Child nodes, it finds the childs, and child node has some different problems. Let me show it. Let me remove. So, for example, I have div, and I have 3 elements like cart, let's say a div, and I write here div, for example, and let's make it more beautiful. div display flex. Okay, so this is our divs, and I will add some button to manipulate it. Button. Document query selector. Button add event listener. Click and then we write click function, for example. So you can use different names. Do not remember this click fn. It's like only name which I gave to this function. And I write click function click fn. So for example, I want to show what is inside of div. I write let item document query selector div. So it takes div. Let's call it div item to not mess it with other items. Div item, and for example, I want to write console log div item. Sorry, not div item, but text content, child nodes. I press this button, it says that not list. Okay, so see this part. It says that node list, it is list of nodes. It's like array, and it contains how many elements? 6 elements. What is the problem? Problem is that these 6 elements are actually, they are not. So we have 3 items A, B, C, but we have 6 elements. And what are they? We see that HTML unknown element. Okay, it is about card. Why? Because it doesn't recognize this tag before. It didn't see, but we can use it. And then we have this one, text. What is the problem with text? What is text here? We didn't write any text here, but actually it is these things, like this new line and tab. This is the text. So when I press this one, it says this is the what is inside of text, and we see this data. You see these 2 characters. First one is new line and second is tab. So it actually stores these things. So for example, if you want to find all of these items inside of some element, so for example you want to find all elements and you want to say for, let's say, let items, you say div item child nodes, and you say let item of items, and you want to make all of these ABC to be background color yellow. You will try to do something like this. Item style, we can use style to change the CSS background color, and here you can write, for example, yellow. And let's try to do it, this one. Okay, run. Cannot set property background color of undefined. It says that there is of some items of this item, some items of child nodes, they don't have background color. So actually what we should do, we should actually we can use this code, not type. You say that if item not type is equal to not text node, but we have what nodes? We have three different nodes, but more. Okay. So there are different node types. Basics are element. Element is any HTML element which is recognized. Text, comment. So this is the processing instruction node and many difference, like so main are element and text node. So in this case we want to say that okay, do apply background color to elements that are element node. So now they are, all of them are background color yellow. Why? Because we search it for element type nodes, and we got them. So this was also about selecting the nodes. Now I want to make something like this. I want to show you. So again, we'll have these cards. Let's change it. So inside of these cards, we'll have some image. Image source. Okay, let's find close button. Okay. So we have these three close buttons. So for example, think it as close buttons. I want to press this button and this show hide A item. And then when I press this button, for example, it hides B, C, or we can say it not hiding, but for example, highlighting it. Like for example, I want to highlight these items. So what I need to do, okay, again with document query selector button. Now we don't need buttons. Let's look close. So I want to show you this problem. I press this one, and first of all I write document query selector image, and it takes only first image, so it works only for first this one, but doesn't work for B and C. But I want to work for them all. So the solution is this one: document query selector all. We first of all take all these close images. Then I remove this one. So then I make this like let close image of close images, and apply to all of them this event listener. Yeah, okay, we don't need this one. So what does it mean? It takes all images on the page, and then when you press them, they will be all call this function, click function. I run. A works, B works, C works. Okay, it's good. We solved the problem. Now what I do? Now what can I do? But here will be problem. For example, I want to, when I press the A, I want A be highlighted. So let's do it like this. We say let cart document query selector cart, and say cart style background color equal to yellow. Will it work? Let's see. I press the A. Oh, okay, it works. But when I press B or C, it doesn't work. It is executed, but it doesn't work. Why? Because we actually, when you write this code, document query selector, you select the first card, not the current card, not the which we press. So if you understand the problem, when I press the buttons, it is executed, but it is not. It doesn't style the. So, for example, I press run again. Now, when I press C, A is selected. Why? Because A, we select A. It finds A because it's first. So now I want to understand which X button I pressed. To do this, we have this one, which is called, we can apply here function attribute, which is called current target. Current target is actually the item which you pressed. So let's remove this one. Let's close and say current target. So, but the current target is the image, but I want to style the parent, which is cart. Parent, not. Okay, let me see the thing. Okay, sorry, it's not attribute current target, but event. So if you want to take the button which was pressed, you should apply event current target. So it will take this characteristic, and then you take parent dot the card, and then you can change the background color of it. I press C. Now it becomes yellow. I press B, Now it becomes yellow. Press A, now it becomes yellow.